Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. My name is Ben Oliveri, and today I have a 60-minute full body reset yin yoga class for you guys. So personally, it's one of my favorite practices to do on my own, especially when maybe I haven't practiced for a while. It could be nice to just work through all the areas of the body a little bit and feel a little release as you start with the toes and work your way up. So I really hope you enjoy it. It'll be normally yin postures you hold from anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes. For this class, it'll be slightly shorter holds. I would say 2, 3, 4 minutes on each side of each pose. So yeah, we'll start from the tips of the toes and work our way all the way up to the neck and kind of everything in between. So let's get right into it. We will start with toe stretch. So you can go ahead and come to your shins and then curl all your toes under. Start to sit back on your heels. So you could stay with the palms down, especially to start to kind of ease into it. That can be nice. Or if it feels okay for you when you do sit back on your heels, that's great too. You can take that variation. We won't be here for super long. This can be an intense one. But just see if you can soften every area of the body besides where you're feeling this possibly intense stretch right now. So just 20, 30 more seconds. See if you can soften the shoulders, relax the gaze, and notice your breath. Hands resting gently on the lap. A few more breaths here. Good, and then really slowly, I know that can be one where you kind of want to just get out of there. Slowly come back down to your hero's pose. I just have to start my timer, which I forgot to do. So go ahead, come back to hero's pose. And now we'll go for the tops of the feet, kind of the ankles. Place your hands back, right outside your feet, maybe a little further back. If you're already feeling a stretch, great, stay here. If you'd like a little more sensation, you can lean back and float the knees up. Maybe it's just a tiny bit. Maybe you're ready for more. Listen to your body. You don't need to go to the deepest variation of these poses to get the benefits by any means. And oftentimes it's these areas of the body that we don't stretch very much that can be intense. So if there's a pretty strong sensation here, know that it's totally fine. You just want to focus on bringing your attention to that sensation and trying to soften anywhere else that you can soften here. About 20 more seconds. Good, then go ahead and come back down onto your shins. Down dog is a really nice counter pose for that ankle stretch. Go ahead and make your way there. Bring your feet towards the back of the mat. And start to give them a nice slow pedal. Remembering that in yin yoga, you really want to make an effort to move slowly. When you can make these slow intentional movements and find stillness when you're in the poses, You're sort of just telling your muscles that they don't need to be exerting any effort, and that they can start to become still. So we got the feet. Let's move right up to the calves. Bend your right knee deeply and press the left heel towards the mat. Let the head drop so your gaze is soft in between your shins or thighs. And take a few breaths into that calf muscle. Those calf muscles, I should say. Good. Left knee bends, right heel towards the mat just as close as it wants to go. Head drops, jaw is unhinged. Eyes are soft or closed. A few breaths here. And then go ahead, come down into a tabletop position. By the way, I have a blanket. You might need it, you might not. But if you want to hit the pause button and grab a blanket or anything, any other props that you'd like, please do that. And we'll just move through some nice gentle cat-cows. So wrists are right underneath your shoulders with the fingers spread out wide. Knees are underneath your hips. On your next inhale, really try to lengthen it, arch your back, pull your shoulder blades together. On your exhale, press the mat away so you round your back and tuck the chin. Trying to make these really slow movements. Long inhale equals the length of a slow movement upwards. Unrushed exhale equals the length of a slow movement, pressing the mat away, tucking the chin. A couple more like that with your breath. Good. Roll off to either hip. Cross your right shin in front of your left. And you might sit up on a blanket here. On your next inhale, find some length in the spine. Feel your sits bones root down. And then on your exhale, fold forward. So it might look like this with the palms down. You might walk them out further or drop the forearms. Or you might be up here a little bit. That's totally fine too. Again, just got to listen to your body when you're doing any style of yoga, but specifically yin when you want to be able to soften into a posture for a few minutes. You want to find that variation where you can really have some effortlessness in the muscles and create that feeling of relaxation. We'll be here for a couple more minutes. If you're here and want a little more sensation, you can also come into fire log by bringing the right sole of the foot to your left inner thigh. Personally, that's a little too much for my outer hips, but if you would like that variation, go for it, and we'll be here, 2 more minutes. Let the palms or the fingertips or the forearms, whatever's touching the earth, just let them kind of be like paperweights. No pressing, no effort, so the shoulders can drop away from the ears, and that sensation can really be concentrated in your outer hip. Three more full breaths here. See if you can finish your exhales without force, just really let that exhale complete. And moving super slowly through the transitions, walk the hands back in. Lean back so that you can cross your left shin in front of your right. So yeah, if you weren't feeling much in that last pose, you could take the fire log variation and bring the left foot to the right inner thigh and calf area. Otherwise, square pose, left shin in front of right. Find some length in the spine on your inhale. And then when you fold forward, try to maintain that length in your spine for as long as you can, just until or if your back starts to naturally round. That's totally okay to do in a yin practice. You know, a lot of the times in a yin yoga practice, the challenge is more in the mental side. Can be a lot physically too, for sure, depending on the pose that you're in and your body. But a big challenge of yin is that it forces you to slow down, hold the postures for a little longer, which for the mind, it always wants to think and move on to the next thing. So this is a great practice to balance that out. And, you know, if you feel like your mind is really busy, that's totally okay. You just wanna notice that and use this practice to see if you can slow things down up there a little bit. Maybe inviting in some open mouth exhales so that you can really feel the jaw relax. Then definitely a common area to hold tightness. Again, just something to notice. 2 more breaths. And then slowly begin to come out of that one. Shift over to tabletop. Extend your right foot back. So you're on the toes and the ball of the foot. Take a few rocks back and forth, stretching out the hamstrings. We'll do one more pose next for the outer hips, and then we'll get a little more into hamstrings, and that'll cover a lot of the lower body. Then we'll start to move up. Same thing on the left side, left foot back. Can be on the palms or the fists, just taking really gentle, slow rocks here. So next pose is pigeon, or sleeping swan as it's called in yin. You'll bring your right knee forward behind your right wrist, roughly. Behind your rough wrist. Behind your right wrist, roughly. And the shin might be at an angle. Kind of hard to see from this angle, but mine is at like 45 degrees. It might be within your body to bring it parallel, but never try to force it there. You kind of just want to let the shin go wherever it wants to go. If you find that the right hip is not quite coming down to the earth, you can take a blanket or any preferred prop that you have. Could also put that blanket under your left knee for a little support. You might stay on the palms, maybe down on the forearms, or all the way to the earth. You can create a pillow with the hands and rest the head. Checking in with the muscles of the face as you settle into this pose. A lot of the times, if there is some tightness or feeling of holding in the eyes, the eyelids, or the jaw, that can spread down throughout the body and kind of make you tighten up a little bit. So starting with the muscles of the face, soften them. And do the same with the shoulders. Maybe let the head drop. And we'll take a couple minutes here. Take 3 more full, unrushed breaths into that right outer hip. And if you're down on the forearms, you can come right up to the palms. Remove any props if you had them there. And you'll roll right off to that right outer hip. Keep the knee bent and swing your left leg around. For a forward fold, that's going to get into the hamstrings. Super helpful for me personally to sit on a blanket. It's hard for me to fold forward, so if you're the same way, you want to take a little support to lift the hips and make it easier to tip forward. Also might help to bend the knee. That's just if it's challenging for you to fold forward, right? If the chest goes right towards the thigh or knee, then no need to bend the knee or sit on support. Let's start to find your forward fold by walking the hands forward. And this is a really very valuable physical practice. No matter what physical activity you do, it'll make it so that your risk of injury is much lower. There's a lot of professional sports teams now that are consistently practicing yoga because they're seeing the benefits of it. But you also get a lot of benefits in the mind from this practice. Super important thing to just take some time to slow down every once in a while and take a little time away from that state of doing and getting into being. Another minute or so here. You might go a little deeper on your exhales, or you might be just fine where you are. No right answer. And after your next full breath, start to lengthen your spine one vertebra at a time to come up. And then go ahead and find pigeon on your left side. Left knee towards your left wrist. You can always just wiggle that back knee back a tiny bit more if you want an added stretch in that right hip flexor. If support was good for you on the other side, you might take it there. This side could be completely different too. That's normal, but take your time to find the variation of the pose that works for your body. And once you do find that variation, try to settle in. Finding stillness to the best of your ability, softening into that left outer hip and sending your exhales right there. Elongated and unrushed exhales are very calming on the nervous system. And again, you don't need to feel like you're forcing that exhale out. Just really bring your attention to it when you breathe out and finish the breath, or let the breath finish. Training the mind with every pose and every breath that it's a really good thing for you to slow down, which sometimes cannot be a super popular form of logic in our society today, where we're always on the move. But if we can take this time to consistently practice slowing down when we are in that state of doing it on the move and moving through our to-do lists and whatnot, probably you'll be a little more effective if you can come from this place of stillness. We'll take 30 more seconds here. After your next full breath, press yourself up, roll off to that either hip, swing the right leg around. Set yourself up with whatever props are helpful for you in this forward fold, Janu Sirsasana. So your left heel is towards your right inner thigh. Going to slowly walk the hands out. Maybe let the head drop. And as you find that stillness and that pause, start to notice what's going on in the body and or the mind. If there's any discomfort or tightness, instead of feeling like that's a negative thing or being hard on yourself, just notice it. Like in this pose for me, I could get frustrated because most or many yoga teachers can fold right forward and look really nice in this pose. For me, it, in my opinion, doesn't look that nice, but I'm still getting a really good stretch in the hamstring, so that's all that matters. Really something you want to work on in a yin yoga class is that change of perspective and really noticing instead of judging. Whatever is going on in your body, it's all good. You're still getting benefits from this practice. No matter what's going on in the mind, you're still getting benefits. If you do find that there's some turbulence and the thoughts are going pretty quickly, just use your breath as an anchor. Keep coming back to it. Use the sensations in your body as an anchor. Three more breaths. Next inhale, go ahead and make your way up. Maybe straighten the legs out and just let the toes fall in and out. Give the legs a little tap. Okay, so we did some good lower body stuff. We'll transition to the waist up now. So please make your way down onto your abdomen. For Sphinx pose, the forearms are down, the palms come together. And in yin, in this longer held posture, it's okay to kind of shrug into the shoulders. You might even let the head drop. Really let the jaw relax in this pose. So this is a pretty light back bend. If you would like a little more sensation, you can float the feet up. Another variation of this pose is called seal, which is definitely a deeper back bend, but if you'd like to give it a try, you would bring the hands out towards the long edges of your mat, and they're roughly at 45 degrees or so towards the corners of your mat. So 2 minutes, either Sphinx or seal. Noticing the sensation in your low back, whether it's a softer, more subtle sensation or a deeper back bend, just bring your attention there. And then see if you can bring your attention to how the breath affects the low back in this posture. So on your inhales, feel the low back rise. And exhales, feel it drop and soften, matching that feeling of dropping and softening with the face and the jaw, maybe letting the head drop. And you can change variation at any point. If you're in seal and it's feeling like too much, you can come back to Sphinx. About 30 more seconds. And go ahead and come all the way down onto your belly, take an ear to the mat. And a little pause here. Extend your right arm out in like a T shape. Come up onto the left fingertips. The left fingertips are down. And then go ahead and roll to your right outer hip. So you might leave the top foot just stacked on top of the other like this. This is already enough of a stretch in the chest in front of right shoulder. Or if you'd like a little more, you might bring the sole of the foot across your body and down. If your mind has wandered, go ahead and bring it right back to your breaths. Maybe slow them down. Thirty more seconds. Roll right back down. Take a little pause in between sides. Maybe take the opposite ear to the mat that was just down. Left arm out in a T with the palm down, tent up on the right fingertips. This time roll to your left outer hip. This practice yin yoga is often referred to as meditation in shapes. And it really has a lot of similarities to meditation. When you're meditating, if the mind gets busy, instead of being hard on yourself, so that won't really get you anywhere, you just notice, oh, my mind's kind of busy. Let me come back to the breath. That's probably going to happen a ton at first. And then slowly it gets a little bit easier to control the thoughts and the fluctuations of the mind. So yin, it's a really similar thing, both with the mind and with the body. You might notice that the sensation's a little too much, or maybe you back out of it. But more importantly, just notice what happens in the mind. If you feel like you are itching to get out of the pose, just notice if that's a product of if you're actually in pain or deep discomfort, or if you just want to follow the narrative of your mind and do what it's used to and move on to the next thing. Just something to notice. And after your next full breath, excuse me, roll down to the abdomen, ear to the mat. A little pause here. Letting the body balance itself right out with a neutral spine. And then however you'd like to get there, make your way up to a comfortable seat. Just make sure it's unhurried. Heroes or cross-legged. Bring your right arm to the left side of your head and really gently let your ear track towards the shoulder for a little neck stretch. Letting that left hand be soft wherever it is. No need to go super deep here. Just until you feel a stretch in the neck, take a few breaths. Come back through neutral. Left arm to the right side of your head, ear towards the shoulder. 3 more breaths. Slowly back through center. And all the way onto your back. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open out wide. If they don't really want to drop down, if you have blocks or books, you can place them underneath your outer thighs. If you don't have props, sometimes it's nice to make fists and kind of wedge them underneath your outer thighs. Recline bound angle. Hands can be wherever you'd like. You might have them off to your sides with the palms up or down. Maybe to the inner thighs. Maybe on the belly or chest to feel your breath. You can play with those, feel which one is right for you today. One more minute here. Making any adjustments that you might find necessary. Or just really leaning into that stillness if you're there. Maybe some open mouth exhales or some sighs that can feel nice. Very grounding. Breaths are slow and unrushed. A few more of them. After your next full breath, wait for the end of the exhale. Extend your legs out long for our final pose before Shavasana. It'll be for the side body. Walk the feet over to the right hand corner of your mat. You might stay here with the feet apart. You might cross the left ankle over your right. Arms up overhead. And then do the same thing with your upper body. So it's just a little wiggle of the upper back also towards the right. Catch the left wrist in your right hand and gently pull. You could also bend the arms and take the left elbow in your right hand and create that same pull. Trying to keep your hips in the middle of the mat. Three to five more breaths here. Rib cage expanding and softening. Slowly bring the upper back to the middle of the mat. Same thing with the hips. Take a pause. Then both feet come over to the left while trying to keep your hips in the middle of the mat. Might cross the right ankle over your left. And find this banana shape. Find whatever pull on the wrist or the elbow that is appropriate for your side body. And then make an effort to find that stillness. And within that stillness, you're creating discipline in your mind. Training your mind and teaching it the value in slowing down. And just doing really little subtle things like bringing attention to your body, or any patterns that you notice in the mind and the thoughts. Really slowly, literally like you're moving in slow motion. Ease yourself out of the pose. Body back to the center of the mat. And just to get that feeling of rounding, that doesn't even make sense. I'm pretty relaxed right now. Finishing off the practice. Bring your peace fingers to your temples, and with light pressure, just make little circles. Slow circles, massaging the temples, maybe a few in the opposite direction. And then let your hands rest by your sides. Backs of the hands can be down and palms up for a more receptive feeling, or palms down for a more grounded feeling. And definitely stay for Shavasana whenever you do yoga, but I know online yoga can be tempting to move on. Give yourself the gift. Shavasana, really, like cheesy yoga teacher thing to say, but Shavasana, really, really a gift to yourself to just let yourself totally drop in. So go ahead and take 5 minutes of rest here. 5 minutes of quiet Shavasana. In the next 3 to 5 breaths, come back to conscious breathing if you weren't there. Wiggle the fingers and toes, maybe point the feet, flex them. Let the head drop from one side to the other. Whatever your body's calling for, maybe a full body stretch. And press yourself up to a seat, or if you're at home and have more time to stay, of course, more than welcome to have a longer Shavasana. And just finish with a couple breaths together. Come to the bottom of your exhale. And nice long inhale. Open the mouth, side out. One more like that, full breath, feel the ribs expand. And exhale it out. Thank you so much for your practice, for joining me, taking a little time out of your day to slow down. Hope you feel great. Namaste.